Welcome, seekers of the unknown, as we pull back the veil between the living and beyond. Unraveling questions that plague our minds, and oftentimes presenting the evidence that may prove them true. Let us take you on a journey where paranormal becomes normal, and where what is right behind you just might be echoes of the afterlife or something more. But fair warning, once you step into the supernatural with us, you might just stay haunted.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Stay Haunted.
Hello.
Hello, cheerio.
Cheerio.
From London.
We've got a special broadcast for you tonight. Not only do we have a really super cool special guest that is a really good friend of ours, but Todd and Carmel are actually sitting in London right now.
Oh my good.
At a nice 2 a.m. in the morning, UK time.
They went to London to do what's the festival called again?
Festival of the Unexplained. It was held in Bosworth, Market Bosworth, which is about 2 hours north-ish of London. So we had a great time, great event. We spent a couple of days. We flew in last week on Monday, actually a week ago today, and had a couple of days on the front side. Took the train up to Northampton to meet Andy DeCodes from Alien 8 UK podcast. He was gracious enough. We met him in Gettysburg at the Battlefield Bash in July. And
Nice.
He picked us up. We met him. It was nice to see him and spend some quality time because we really didn't get to spend a lot of time with him. And then
we met new friends.
And we met a bunch of new friends at
So the moral of this story is, y'all, is we have guests booked through October, but there will be one show in November. Now, drum roll, we will have any evidence that we captured with our investigation at Titagony Cemetery with Ron and Lourdes. Todd and Carmela will be here at the end of October, so we're going to plan a couple investigations. Of course, the Titagony Cemetery, because we got to take them there, and we're going to do Haunted Holcomb Road with Todd and Carmela when they're here. So we'll have evidence from that. And we'll also have evidence on that show of their trip to London. So there's going to be a really good show coming in November. We'd have it for you in October, but we've got some great guests scheduled. We don't want to push them off. We've had some really exciting stuff happen in the last couple of weeks. So how
what?
I didn't want to cut you off. Sorry. How was your weekend? How was your weekend? How was your past week? Oh, I know.
My past week was work. So Todd and Carmela flew out on last Sunday to go to London, and Chris flew out last Sunday to go to the Carolinas to spend a week doing training in the branches that I run. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a regional director of ops for a national home remodeling company, and I travel a lot. That's why we weren't on the show last week, because Todd and Carmela just got into London. I was traveling for work, so that's why the show was not on the air last week. But in that last week or two that you guys haven't seen us, a lot of things have changed. Todd and Carmela went to London. They're doing what they're doing. They investigated a 700-year-old church. They've done some really cool shit that we're going to reveal to you in one of those shows in November. But if you guys noticed, Southern Entities has now changed. So Audra and I are no longer in the South.
No, you're not.
We're no longer connected with Entity Voices because of Entity Voices podcast being canceled and gone now. So if you guys saw on the Facebook page, Southern Entities has now changed to Beyond the Voices Paranormal. And I wanted to explain that a little bit. Beyond the Voices, it's a symbolistic kind of name. Not only is it a name of Entity Voices is no longer around, right? And we're not a part of that anymore. Well, Tony and Cherie still have Entity Voices in Arizona, but we're no longer affiliated with Entity Voices. EVPE or EVPI.
EVP.
Well, EVPE ended and EVPI is still there, but we're no longer associated with that anymore. So Audra and I have now branched out, and since Audra likes to move a lot, I told her our new name could not be affiliated or connected with any regions or locations. But the best part is a lot of the stuff that we do, you guys have seen some of our evidence. Most of our evidence is EVP related. And then we're really good friends with Ron and Lourdes. We're really good friends with Todd and Carmela. Beyond the voices not only means beyond entity voices, beyond the voices that we catch on EVPs, but also the stuff that goes beyond the paranormal stuff that we do as far as capturing spirits, capturing anything visual. Entity voices or beyond the voices means what comes beyond the voices. Answers that we get, intelligence responses, timing and relevance, constant data, intelligence, and other things that we do. We do readings. Audra and I do readings. We've done it for PPIT. We've done it for multiple groups. Right? We've done cleansing of homes. We've done private investigations. So we are beyond the voices. Listen beyond the voices is what it means. So really exciting stuff. Some changes going on. We're back. We'll be back every week. Todd and Carmel will be here next week. They're going to be tired as hell. But we'll be back next week.
We get to catch up on a rest.
Yes.
That's why I keep drinking.
Yeah. Well, that's called age.
Well, I'm not flexible.
But some exciting stuff going on, guys. Stay Haunted is going to continue on. We're not going to stop. We plan on being here as long as you guys will watch. And probably even after you guys quit watching, it'll just be the four of us on here making ourselves stupid. But hey, at least we'll have something to do, right?
That's right.
Not only that, we've met some really good people. The whole point of Stay Haunted is to not stick to one genre, right? Not stick to
hence the Beyond the Voices.
Hence the Beyond the Voices, not stick to just evidence-related shows. We're talking about show locations. We bring on friends that are in the paranormal, like the person that we have on tonight. People that have their own podcasts, people that have their own locations, people that do their own tours. We're going to throw some evidence shows in there. We love evidence, guys.
Love evidence.
Love evidence, because not only do we do the podcast, we get out, we get our shoes dirty, we get out, we do the boots underground stuff, and we investigate. It's like Todd and Carmela, for some reason, thought they had to go all the way to London just to investigate shit. There's plenty of haunted shit here, but hey, why not go to London, right? So some really exciting stuff as we roll through the end of 2025. Can you believe it already?
I know. Holidays are creeping
up. Can you
up.
believe it already?
No.
We've been doing this since April. We've been doing this since April, and we have not missed a beat.
No.
And it's only
That's how
getting
you
better.
stay haunted, people. That is how you stay haunted. Is there anything you guys would like to add before we bring on this awesome person that we have scheduled for tonight?
Bring her on.
Bring her on. You pretty much
Bring her on.
job of summarizing everything, Chris. So.
Sorry, guys, I'm a little excited. We haven't been on the air in a couple weeks.
Haven't had the pleasure of talking to Todd and Carmela.
Right.
It's been a moment.
It's been a moment. Guys, tonight we have the owner and CEO of Paranormal Brew. Her paranormal journey officially began in 2004 when she started watching Ghost Hunters. How many times have we heard that?
I know.
Jason Hawes, you hooked a ton of us, right? In 2007, she had what she thought was her first experience that was believed to be intelligent spirit communication. And from that moment on, she began to explore and do amateur-type investigating. She was an enthusiast. Then in 2012, she joined a local group that offered extensive training to become an investigator, which led her to eventually becoming the co-director of the group. During some of that time in the group, she was part of an internet radio show called the Paranormal Straight Talk. In 2010, she captured what she believed to be an apparition of a soldier. No, like a schedule. Of a soldier on the railroad cut in Gettysburg. The photo was displayed on the ghostly images section of Mark Nesbitt's Ghost of Gettysburg store on Baltimore Pike in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. It is on display in Brian Cano's History of the Paranormal. Brian Cano, great dude. Yep. You've all met him. mobile exhibit that's traveled across the USA and as a Ghost City tours in Gettysburg. She's the CEO and owner of Paranormal Brew, a podcast that it's in its 8th year and still going.
Yep.
And we have been guests on that show.
Been lucky enough to be guests.
Yes.
That's right.
She's a member of the Ghostly Excursions event team, which has hosted many successful I'm having trouble with those S's tonight, aren't I? Paranormal events, but most notably the Penhurst Paragon. She helps with events such as the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. Anybody that's been there should know who we're talking about by now. And the New Jersey Para Unity Expo. She's assisted local historical sites with events such as the Selma Mansion, Gettysburg Academy, Dinner with the Ghost, Octagon Mansion, Fort Mifflin, the Sterling Mine, Penhurst Asylum, Birdsboro Community Center. I had to slow down on that one. In Birdsboro, Pennsylvania. She has also worked with Paranormal Reality TV, obtaining locations for the show, and made an appearance on an episode. And was on an episodes of Dark Echoes Paranormal. Yes, I'm going to read it all, y'all. So you better have time.
Know.
Because she deserves it.
Yep.
She's also helped launch the Paranormal Magazine in 2023 by contributing multiple interviews from people who run haunted locations, a TV celebrity, and owners of the biggest paracons on the East Coast. She is also a content contributor for Eerie Expedition magazine. She has made several appearances on independent documentaries with the help of selected investigators. She continues to do private and historical investigation. And she is also one of the Paranormal Peaches, y'all. Aside from her weekly show, she's been a guest on numerous amazing podcasts, vodcasts, and radio shows to share her experiences and journeys. Guys, if you don't know who I'm talking about now, you haven't been
done
around.
A quiz. Like, who can guess?
Who can guess who this is? Guys, she's been on Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. We've been on her show. Now she's on Stay Haunted. We consider her a good friend. Everybody say hello to Taryn Kerper.
Miss Taryn.
Hello, Miss Taryn.
Wow. You're like reading it out loud. I don't think I've ever read it out loud. So I was like,
What's funny is when Taryn said it to me, she's like, it's really long. Actually, Taryn, people have sent me a lot longer than that.
Yeah. Your paragraphs were short. Some people send them like really long paragraphs.
Yeah.
So anybody that's ever been out to the bash, if you don't know this face, you've not been to the bash.
That's right.
And you need to get there.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I'm already looking forward to next year.
That's right.
Yeah, I love Gettysburg.
Speaking of which, I was just thinking, are there hotel rooms out yet? I didn't even know. I wasn't.
I don't know. I don't know if the hotels are out yet. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe. Okay. I know we booked a room for something, but I don't know which one. I don't know if it was Penhurst, Gettysburg. Obviously not New Jersey Para Unity because that hasn't happened yet, but it's one of the two that we booked a room for. Maybe it was the Bash. I'm not sure. So when I say I mean the Peaches.
So Taryn, you've got some really exciting news. What happened recently that might cause your avatar name there to change a little bit?
Oh, I got married in Las Vegas. We went to Vegas, and Elvis did the honors. We got married at the Little White Chapel, and Elvis was the officiate, and he sang us 2 songs, and it was amazing. It was great.
And you had a nice little thing out there, right? Anything that does the saying, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
Not with me. Not with me. There's nothing sacred when you hang out with me.
Not with Taryn. No, not with Taryn.
It was pretty cool. I mean, they had we went to the Mob Museum, which was really cool. Highly recommended. It's awesome. And then we also found that there's a 1923 speakeasy inside the Venetian. It's kind of like you have to go up this like elevator, and you look like you're just in a room, and one of the paintings is the door. If you don't know it, you wouldn't know to open the painting, and you walk in, and it's got all this eclectic. I put pictures up because it was like, I was like, holy crap. I'm like, it's like the best place I've found in Vegas. Like, I mean, it had all types of paranormal phenomena. It had a little Annabelle doll on the wall. It had all these like weird things that this guy that used to own the place like collected. So it was like mummified things and like a long arm and like some taxidermy things that were just all kinds of body parts were put together, and it looked all creepy and was staring at me all night. My husband broke one of their antique chairs by accident. They were very nice about it. But we spent 2 nights there. The first night we got there, and then the night of our wedding, we went there, and we couldn't leave. We had so much fun. It was great.
Huh.
Was it a scene out of like Hangover? Was there anything?
Yes, Rob, my husband lost a tooth. Hand to God, lost a tooth.
Lost a tooth, broke a chair. Right?
Yeah.
He sounds like he's a lot of fun, Taryn.
We all need to hang out.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. There was 24 people there altogether, which I was surprised about. It was an open invite, so 24 people came, which I was surprised, but I was also happy. We did make it to the Grand Canyon and the Hoover Dam. Had to go there.
Nice.
Have to.
Yeah, so that was cool, but we had fun. It was just awesome. The whole trip was awesome, and we got married for just under $3,000. So I was hearing people, and that includes our hotel, like because I was hearing people talking today at work, and this one guy's like, "Yeah, we're splitting the wedding in half for our daughter and their son, and we're paying $60,000." I was like,
"Oh no!
Oh my God!"
That's crazy.
Guys,
like
we have
that is insane. Like, there's no way.
I'm taking that note because we have our oldest son Robert just got engaged. It's going to be
Go to Vegas. Go to Vegas.
Go to Vegas.
He's going to Vegas. Hearing that, Taryn.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was the best.
We did the same thing. We got married in 2015. So this year, the week after next, is our 10-year anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
We got married at Caesar's Palace.
Mm-hmm.
Had the big, huge room. It included flowers. It included the preacher.
Yeah.
It included the room that held up to 150 people. And it included
the cake, the flowers,
the photographer, 300 pictures. And I think it cost us like $3,800.
Yeah, I mean, I think with everything, I added everything up, like our extra hotels, just my dress, whatever. Everything was like under $6,000.
Yeah.
And what was really cool is we booked a room with us and our 2 sons, and then the day of the wedding, we were transferring to a suite.
Yeah, for the wedding night.
Just for the wedding night, right? Because we don't want the boys in the room for the wedding night, right?
Right.
That would have been a little creepy. So I booked this $1,200, and then we'll get to Taryn. Sorry, Taryn. I'm just trying to sell Vegas. We booked
Vegas is awesome.
We booked an $1,100 suite to have the reception and afterwards, and then spend our wedding night in. 2 weeks before our wedding, they called us and said, "Hey, Mr. Allgood, we have an issue. Where your suite is booked for the reception, we have decided to renovate that part of the hotel.
It is no longer available.
It is no longer available." So Chris, not a nice person when I'm pissed, goes, "Excuse me, I paid for this 6 months in advance." And they said, "Oh, we are going to upgrade you for free to the Rain Man suite."
Nice.
The exact suite where Dustin Hoffman and Tom Cruise did the dance in front of the.
Yeah.
Seriously, for free.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
3,800 square foot suite. They upgraded it.
Wow, that's awesome.
It was pretty
cool. How
cool.
did you leave the suite? Like we had a 1,600 square foot suite.
Wow.
We walked in, there was like a pool table in there, all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, this, you know what I mean? With Rob, he was in the service, so they gave him like a military discount. Plus, it was like, oh, we get, you call every day. So one thing about Vegas hotel rooms, I'll tell you, 1, you can make payments. 2, you call them, and if it changes in price, like if it goes down, they honor that, and they take the money off. If the hotel rooms, obviously if they go up, you don't want to do it. But I'm saying if it goes down, they honor that. So,
it was pretty phenomenal. We had our first dance where Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman had a dance in Rain Man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was
It's
pretty
fun.
cool.
I highly recommend it. The only
Yep.
thing I will say though, it is the other stuff is expensive. Like just eating and doing like some of the touristy stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
It does get expensive, so you want to save money for that. But if you're just going out there really quick, like this was my first marriage. It's not like it's been my second or third, and I'm like, I don't want to do the big thing. I never wanted to do the big thing, so I've always wanted to go to Vegas and get married at the Little White Chapel where Frank Sinatra got married. Where yeah. I love Frank. He's my boy. I have "Fly Me to the Moon" tattooed on my foot. Like I love Frank Sinatra.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So it's always been my thing.
Very cool. So real quickly, shout out to everybody in chat. Hello. And actually Cheyenne is our son's fiance. So she just hopped in the chat there.
Hi, Cheyenne.
Yeah, go to Vegas to get married. It's so fun.
So there you go. We're going to go to Vegas. Vegas, baby.
See, Cheyenne, us old people are pretty cool.
Yep. And you know things.
The Venetian also the Venetian also has a wedding gondola ride that you can ride. It's white. All the other gondolas are like brown or black, but they have a white one for when you get married. You can rent that. It was so awesome. He's like belting out Italian and singing, and I'm just like, yeah. Now my husband's like, I just want to be wallpaper. I don't like all this attention, and I'm like, woo!
Nice.
That's awesome.
All right. Shout out to the roommates too.
Shout out to the roommates.
Yes, thank you guys for watching.
All right. So let's talk some spooky stuff, Taryn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Taryn, how did you get? You were watching Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
How did watching Ghost Hunters make you go, I want to do that shit?
Actually, it didn't. Like I've always been interested in the paranormal. Like I've always been curious, but I was always afraid of it. Totally afraid of it. I didn't want to see nothing. I didn't want to hear nothing, but I was always interested. So I watched the shows. I watched Sightings. I watched Unsolved Mysteries. I have scary stories to tell in the dark. I'd read those books. You know what I mean? And so I was always interested. And when I was growing up, my mom always said, our house is haunted. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm like, weird things would happen. But when you're little like that, it doesn't digest the way it does now. Like whatever happened. And it was like in one, it happened and then it went away. Like you didn't think about it. You didn't try to investigate it. You're just like, wow, that was weird. And then you just forget about it. That's why in my description, I said, when I had that experience in Gettysburg in 2007, which what I thought was my first experience, it wasn't until I started training and learning that I went back and things started popping up in my head that happened to me when I was little and when I was younger. And I was like, oh shit, that was a paranormal experience, I think. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what occurred. So I will be honest with you, my very, very first that I can remember being my first ever paranormal experience was, so I'm from South Jersey, 15 minutes over the bridge from Philly. I am about 30 minutes from Batstow, where the Jersey Devil supposedly, which I don't believe in, just so you guys know, but, the Pinelands and Batstow and all that stuff, which that in itself, the Pinelands, those woods, are scary enough. You don't need to add a flying winged creature to the mix to make it any more scarier because they have people that live in those woods that are really scary. So anyway, I was at a place called Atzion Lake and it's cedar water, and I looked down, and to this day I can't explain any of this. I can just tell you what happened. I was probably in my waist up, and cedar water, if you can't see your feet when you're in cedar water. But for some reason, I saw what looked like to me $1 bill at my feet. So I was like, cool, that's some extra, red string candy at the little convenient thing over here. I'm going to go get some money. So I went under with my eyes open to get the money. And I saw what looked like a boy with dark hair, I remember seeing red towards the back, so I'm only assuming it was like red swim trunks, right? I remember his nose being so wide. This is how much detail I saw in such a quick, he was swimming at me, like directly at me, so fast that I went, swallowed disgusting cedar water, got up out of the water. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm coughing and choking. And I'm like, I'm waiting for him to come up because I wanted to say, I was like, sorry. I was like, the way he was coming at me, I thought maybe he knew he dropped it and was coming back to get it. And I thought I was trying to steal it. I don't know. I was like 7 years old. I didn't,
Wow.
Nobody ever came up out of the water.
Interesting.
And I never found that dollar. I never found that money that I was looking for, that I saw.
Oh.
So that's the first thing I can ever remember. Now, I started watching Ghost Hunters. My mom was into it. My mom was into the paranormal. She wanted to talk to ghosts. I'm like, you're crazy. I was an enthusiast. I liked it, but I didn't want nothing to do with it. I slept with my back to the room. I slept with a night light on, my little music on. I was like, I don't want to hear nothing because, weird things would happen in my house, but I wanted to ignore it. So in 2007, I went to Gettysburg and with my mom, who at that time, she begged me to go because I'd never been to Gettysburg. And I'm like, what is in Gettysburg? I have no interest at all. So I went with her just because she didn't have anybody to go with and she wanted to go. And I'm like, fine, I'll go. And then she was like, okay, do it. When I got there, I fell in love with the place instantly. Instant love. I was like, where has Gettysburg been my whole entire life? So then a little bit later on, she's like, let's do one of those ghost tours. And I'm like, oh my God, fine. Didn't want to do that, but I did it. She's like, we can do one of these extreme ones where they take you on a real ghost hunt. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we're on this ghost hunt. Now, again, I have no idea what I'm doing. I know nothing about ghost hunting, just what I see on TV. They had the group that was running it had all the cool equipment, what I know now to be a K2 meter and, stuff like that. At the time, I didn't know. So they said, you want to hold it? I said, yeah. So I'm standing there. We're at a place called the Creek Bed. It's behind Steinwire Ave in Gettysburg, in case if anybody's familiar with Gettysburg. And it's just this little creek bed. Supposedly, I don't know how true this is because over the years I've heard different of history, but supposedly there were wounded soldiers in this creek bed that, during the day, you couldn't go get your wounded soldiers. So you had to wait till the nighttime to retrieve them, or else you have the chance of being shot yourself. So you had to wait. So it was raining, and there's rumors that some of the soldiers drowned while waiting to be rescued, things of that nature. So anyway, we're back there. I have this thing, and all of a sudden, one side of me was freezing cold, just one side. My other side was normal. And I said, am I supposed to let you know that I feel really cold on this side? And she's like, yeah. So somebody walks over to me. When they walk over, it went away. When they walked away, it came back. This happened about 3 or 4 times. And that was with a gentleman kept walking over. So then the girl goes, well, let me try it. So the girl comes walking over towards me. It goes away. When they leave, it comes back. And as I'm holding the K2 meter, it's going up as they leave. Like it's hitting the red and the yellow and as people walk away, and I'm just standing there by myself, the K2 meter's going up, and this and that. I really, now that I know what I know about K2 meters, I don't know if really that had anything to add to what I was experiencing. However, they started doing an EVP session and the girl says, do you like her? And when we listened back, there was a male voice that said, no, I love her. And I was like, hold on a second. What was that? I was like, nobody was talking when we were doing that. What was that? Right. And to this day, I get chills thinking about it and at that time she's like, well, make sure you tell him he's got to stay here. He can't follow you home. He can't, And I'm like, all right, you can't come back with me. I'll come back tomorrow and say hi, but you can't come with me, And so that was my first, what I thought was my first real experience of anything, And then I thought it's not that bad. that wasn't that bad. I wasn't scared that I thought I was going to be afraid if I ever had an experience,
Right.
And then after that, I started just going to Gettysburg like every month. I was obsessed.
So just sorry to interrupt real fast. Chris, are you hearing strange things too?
Yes.
Okay, good.
That's like 2 weeks in a well, I mean, the last time when we had
2 shows in a row.
Micah on, we
shows
were
in a
hearing
row.
some crazy shit, and then I sent you.
It sounded like water was running,
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is.
Oh, wow.
and then there was something else before it. It was a weird noise before that.
Our last guests from 2 weeks ago were the couple from
Savannah, Georgia. Micah.
Savannah,
and
Georgia. Yeah, sorry. And during the show, they were talking about a spirit in their home, and they said it's an old man, and there was a
Oh, cool. I love when that happens.
yeah. And
That's
right
like-
there, it sounded like water running.
Yeah.
It did.
It was weird.
Yeah. I had Sherry D. Benedetti and Rochelle Stratton on at one time. Like I had them on both together. And while we were doing the interview, there was an EVP right as we were, and because we all stopped and I was like, "Did you hear that?" Like it's crazy. It's crazy when that stuff happens. I love it.
Oh no, I like it too because it means we're actually we're staying haunted.
Yeah,
We're staying on.
in the moment, staying haunted. So I know EVPs is your go-to love of the paranormal.
Yeah.
So, and I actually, when we were at Gettysburg, because we thoroughly enjoyed Gettysburg also, and then I sent you an EVP from Little Round Top. Your if you remember that.
Yeah.
And you had I had sent it to you, and then you actually pointed it out. Do you remember what you told me what it was? Because
there was an extra. I heard something else in there.
Right, yeah. Because I asked the question: were you afraid or scared? And there was I think I originally heard the but then you picked up at the end it was a no. So you got a good ear for EVPs.
Yeah, I honestly even I hear a lot of disembodied voices that get captured. Like when we investigate, I have about 5 to 6 recorders, and I just put them all out, turn them on at the same time, and I let them go. The girls will use their recorders to do the EVP bursts.
Gotcha.
So a lot of times that comes in handy because we'll be listening back to the EVP bursts, and we think you'll hear a question, and we think we have an answer. So we go to rewind it, and it's not on that recorder. I go, hold on. I go grab one of mine, rewind it, and it's on my recorder. And I'm like, we just had an answer to that recording as we're listening. And that's happened like in the last 2 years, that's happened like 4 or 5 times. So I'm like, I wonder if they can hear better via recorder the way we can hear better via recorder.
We've had that happen quite a few times. We've done investigations where we've had multiple recorders that should have picked up the same voice that was in not even 6, 7, 10 feet apart, and it's only picked up on 1 out of 5 recorders.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. But we're actually hearing the disembodied voice, and then it's picking up on another record instead of the one that we did the EVP burst. So the first time that ever happened to me was at Chrysler Mansion in New York, and that I noticed. That was the first time I had all these recorders going. I was on my phone. I think I was on YouTube. I can't remember what I was doing. I was recording on my phone, and it actually picked up on my phone, and that was it. Didn't pick up on any other recorder. If it was anybody in the room, it would have picked up on everything.
So, question, and Chris, I don't know if we've ever talked about this before. So, what's the thought process or the theory of why, when you get an EVP response and you have multiple recorders out, where you kept it captured on one but not the others?
To me, I think that's more. I think that's more evidential than anything. Like unless it's picked up on all the recorders, if it's only picked up on one, it's more of an anomaly or more of I can't explain this, because if something's picked up on every single recorder, chances are you have more of a chance of being somebody in the room or somebody said did something. You know what I mean? Because you're picking it up.
Right.
I will say a couple of times I've picked up, like I'll hear something with my ear and it is on 2 recorders, you know what I mean? But I heard it with my ear. So, and I know it wasn't any of us, you know what I mean? Like once you investigate with people all the time, you know them, you know their voices, you know their voices, you know their, you know, so when I hear something that doesn't sound right, I'm always like, did somebody just say? And they're all like, no, we didn't say that. And I leave that in all my clips, like, because I want people to hear what was going on just before. I want people to hear the EVP, and then I want people to hear how we're talking about it. Like, you know, so they hear that whole thing. So my EVP clips are a little longer than most people. Plus, and they're raw. I don't know how to edit EVPs. I'm too afraid I'm going to F them up. So like, I don't know, like take this sound out and amplify this sound and do this and that. They're just how they are is how they are.
Well, and I've said this on our old podcast and this podcast also too. When you notice that when you get an EVP and it's only captured on one recorder out of multiple recorders. And we've had, you know, Tony and Cherie were at the Montgomery house with us. Ron Lourdes was at the Montgomery house with us, right? So out of 6 people in the group, we probably had 10, 12 recorders going. Right. And some of the EVPs that we captured were on one recorder.
That's awesome.
And what's interesting about those EVPs is if you listen to them really close and you enhance it and raise them, you can tell that they're either above the natural sound of the room or they're below it.
Right.
So it's a lot of people like to say it's embedded into the recording, but it's not. It's actually above the frequency or below the frequency that the recorder actually records at. It's weird when you listen to it. You can actually hear it. You can distinguish that it's not actually in the same sound as the noise coming from inside the room.
Also, you can tell when it doesn't sound like a human voice.
Right.
It sounds different. And I'm not saying it sounds like demonic or evil or anything like that, but it's just different.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's very interesting.
I love EVPs.
So Taryn, let's get into. So now we know how you got into the paranormal field. We know how you got interested in investigating, right? Okay. And now that you're with the Peaches.
Yeah.
Peaches are an awesome group of women, guys. If you've ever met them all, or if you haven't met them all, you need to. Yep. Right? But tell us how that stemmed to Paranormal Brew.
So when I was with that group that I joined, and then the training that you were saying, and I wound up being co-director. There were 2 people in the group, Michael Brown and Beth O'Brien. So we were sitting around one night, and we were just like, you know, me and Mike started Paranormal Brew. Mike came up with the name. I came up with the logo, you know. And at first we were like, you know, we have some of the best conversations just sitting around and talking about this. We should be recording it and sharing it with people, because we think of like some of the, like, you just get so deep into the conversation where you go down a rabbit hole and you just could talk about, and you could talk for hours. Right. And we're like, we should do this. So at first it was streaming on the internet, you know, like just via internet radio, however. And then I discovered Facebook Live. Yeah. So me and Mike decided we were just going to start doing it, and we did. And at the beginning, you know, we started in 2016, 2017. And the beginning, I am not proud of. Like, if I could like hide some of those episodes, I would hide. I don't know how I'm still doing it. Like it was just terrible, you know. We never really had any guests on. All of us just talked. And then little by little, we started to have guests on. And then I'm like, I really became real passionate about it. And I loved it. I loved talking to people. I loved learning and hearing other people's experiences and being educated. It started to, you know, open up my horizons into the paranormal, because when I first started, it was all ghosties and everything was paranormal. Right. You know, so this kind of opened up my mind to talking to other people, you know what I mean? And from all walks of life, you know, and at first for a while, it still remained just ghosty stuff. And then I started to go, you know what? There's so much more out there. Everything is paranormal is anything not normal. So it could be anything. So
Right.
I've heard to do UFOs and cryptids and conspiracies and, you know, triangles. And I mean, I've had a Satan worshiper on because I wanted to learn about what they believe in. You know what I mean? Like what are your beliefs and what do you practice? And believe me, it's nothing what anybody sees on TV. They're not sacrificing animals and chanting and doing all this and that. It was a very cool episode because I learned something, you know? So I've had skeptics on, I've had all walks of life on, and I love that. You know, I love it. One thing I learned was that you have to do your background check if you don't know the people you're having to a couple doozies. Not proud of them, but you know. But other than that, I love it. Paranormal Brew is my baby. This year, I was just so teetering on, like, you know what? Because it's a lot of work. You guys know. Right. It's a lot of work. People don't think this is a lot of work, but it is a lot of work. Getting guests and putting up the promos and, you know, putting the time out every week to do this. Like, it is a lot of work, people. I'm not even kidding.
And how much do you make out of that work?
Zero.
Matter of fact, it's negative zero because we put a lot of money into it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I made shirts one year. I made shirts and I made so many, and I gave them all away. Even people that would like message me like, "Hey, can I get a shirt?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll just mail it to you." That's what I get for knowing so many people in the paranormal field and they're my friends. I'm like, "Oh, I'll just mail it to you." Do you want me to pay for shipping? No, it's okay. It's all right. I got it. So yeah, I never even sold a shirt.
So we're all good friends. We've met. We've actually investigated with Taryn. And what you were just talking about, you know, paranormal being everything. It's still see-through, Chris.
Yeah.
Damn green tree.
So everything being under the umbrella of paranormal, UFOs, cryptids, you know, what we investigate, the unknown of, you know, spirit. Do you think, and we run in the same circles with friends that investigate, you know, pointing out kind of Ron and Lourdes, like kind of what their theory is, universal consciousness, one mind. Do you think it's possible that cryptids
we're all connected? Is that where you're going with this?
Connected, yeah. And maybe I'm not saying in one way or one small way or another. I wonder if it's possible.
It is. I think anything's possible. I'll say that. I think anything is possible. I mean, I think the paranormal is interpretation as well and how you perceive things. Like, you know, we could all be in a room and hear something and we all hear something different or see something and see something different. I might see Kerper, you might see what was his name? Slimer, right?
Yeah.
You might, I mean, us as humans, we have to label everything. Everything's labeled. Yeah. Everything has a label. How do we even know what we're talking to or seeing or experiencing is a ghost? We have no idea. Could it be time slips from another dimension? Could it be a parallel universe that we're just, who knows? Like, we don't know what it is. Right. And, you know, I mean, my biggest thing, I'm going to get a little deep here for a second. Sorry, but I'm afraid to die. I am so afraid to die because I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I want to live forever. If I could live forever, it'd be great, right? Like, I'm so afraid to die because I'm like, what's going to happen when I die? Is it going to be nothing? What's that? So that's my main reason for doing this, like, to try to find proof for myself. Not really any to prove to anybody else, but like I want that proof. You know what I mean? Like, I want to feel like, okay, there is something afterwards, after we die. Like, there is a possibility we can still connect with loved ones that we leave behind, or we can still, you know, like me, I said I want to haunt the Eisenhower farmhouse in Gettysburg. visitors constantly.
Well, then you'd still be at the bash.
Yeah, I'm like, that's where I want to live and stay. Like, why can't I just be there for eternity? You know, that's my heaven. You know what I mean?
Well, you bring up a fantastic point, Taryn, that is in the realm of the paranormal. It's all perception of what we capture, right?
Yeah.
So your theory is, and this is why I say the perception is different. Your theory is you're afraid to die because you don't have definite proof that life goes on, right?
Right.
To where we've had this discussion because of my heart attack back in 2018, where I should have died. I've told her I'm not afraid to die because I know my whole life I've known there's life afterwards.
And I'm jealous of that. Like I've even had people on to talk about near-death experiences and what they've experienced because I was kind of selfish. Like I wanted it for my own.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, tell me what you experienced. What did you see? What you know? And this was after my mom passed, and it was a pretty tragic event for me. You know what I mean? So, and I was like, I need to know if she was okay, like what she maybe went through, what she maybe saw, what she maybe felt, you know, something, you know. So I've had people on with near-death experiences, you know. I think with me, I mean, I've even had, it's so bad, like I had a dream one time that I was falling in the Niagara Falls. And there was a male voice. I was like, tell me if there's life after death. And it was like, you just have to have faith and believe. And I'm like, but I need to know. Just tell me. As I'm plummeting into the depths of the Niagara Falls, you know. And, you know, and I woke up and I'm like, holy crap, that was so real. And I'm like, the whole time I'm like, whose voice was I talking to? If it wasn't like,
right,
have faith that you go on. But who the heck am I talking to? Right. So, like, had I thought for a second, I'd be like, okay, well, there is something because who am I talking to? I think it's some guys, just, you know?
Well, and here's what I told Audra what the difference was, is I'm not afraid to die because I know that there's something there. I'm not ready.
Right. I would miss this so much. My big thing.
Right. Yeah, I'm not ready. I mean, our granddaughter is going to turn 3 this month or next month. You know, I love living life with this woman. Right. I'm not done yet.
Right.
No,
that's the part that scares me, is I'm not done yet. I know there's stuff after there, but I don't know if people can hear me like I can hear them. Right. And I want to be able to do that. That's the part that scares me.
Yeah.
It's all about perception of the paranormal, and I love that you brought that up.
Yeah. And it's so true. I mean, I have really detailed dreams. I don't know why, but I mean, I even had a dream that I died and I'm living in my house and my husband is sitting on the couch with this like hot brunette. And I'm like, I'm here.
Hell, mother effer, get out of my house.
Walking past me with her and they're all laughing and giggling. I'm like, I'm here. We can still be together. What are you doing? And he's just having this like hot life. And I'm like, oh my, I woke up and I was like, you're coming with me.
For all the gentlemen watching, that's when we get in trouble, is when they have dreams like that.
Crazy shit like that.
I saw what you did in my dream, mofo.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Yeah.
And what was that bitch?
That easy.
Yeah, it was crazy. She was like all young and gorgeous, had this long brown hair. And I'm like, but I'm still here. Like you. And
here, hello.
Tap.
I'm still here.
Yeah. It was crazy. But yeah, I mean, and it's crazy to me. Like I said, the more I do this, the longer it is. It's more for like personal reasons. Like, you know, my father passed when he was 45. I'm 47. So it's weird to think like when he was 45, I was 22. When I was 22, he was old.
Right.
And not that 45 was old, but he was old. You know what I mean? Like he was an adult. He was old. Like and I know he died young, but you don't know how young that is until you hit that age.
Right.
And you're like, right. I'm like 45, but I'm stuck at 20 and I act like I'm 14. Like I still have so much to do. Like you said, there's so much more to do with life, you know?
Yep. Absolutely.
So yeah, and you know,
well, and the scary part is you talk about near-death experiences. When you have one, it is the most biggest 2x4 slap to the face of your mortality that you could ever imagine. You're like, wow.
Yeah, but to have that peace of mind,
tomorrow could be the end.
But to have that peace of mind that there's this transition, that there's this.
Yeah, but at the same time, you ask yourself, have I done enough to leave the impression that I want to leave?
True. But I think anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any person.
And we when how Ron and Lourdes, of course, have the spirit communication, and so I think it was our first or second time actually physically being in a room with them, and there was somebody there who I think asked that same question that you're kind of referring to, Taryn, and all of a sudden you hear multiple, they're having this heated debate, and we get this answer we're not allowed to tell you. I mean, it was something very specific.
Yeah, they were doing
tell you that.
Their TDSE.
Yeah.
And that live interactive communication instead of an EVP.
Group,
and it sounded like a group of people arguing, and then one person responded, "We can't answer your question."
Yeah, they weren't allowed to tell us that.
They weren't allowed to tell us.
Which makes sense. Because if you're supposed to have faith, right?
Right.
And you have this tangible, because could you imagine?
Can you imagine if we had those answers?
Right.
What would we do with
right.
that?
It would be hell.
Yeah,
it would be
right.
total chaos.
But at the same time, think about it. And this is where people, and I say this over and over and over again, people don't critically think anymore. For them to have that response and for us to hear them responding is a confirmative.
Yeah.
Right. Is it?
It has to be.
Yeah.
See, and see me still, I would be even the experiences I've had, I still question, right? Even the disembodied voices I hear, or the things I saw, I haven't seen that much because I don't see, you know what I mean? But I have seen a couple of things where I'm like, did I really see that? What, you know what I mean? And what is it? What did I see? What was happening?
Right. So our experience in reference to this topic is we've sat in, on multiple sessions with Ron and Lourdes. We've, blessed to be able to do that. And, this is going back, 2 or 3 years now? It was when we were just kind of coming into the fray of really kind of paranormal investigation. And we were at a public event where Ron and Lourdes were doing it with Rich Michelle and King Dwyer, mediums. And there was only information that we were privy to. Carmela's brother had passed away, and his name came across. Now his name is Chris, and we heard it, and we're like,
very common,
right? Very common name. And we were wondering what's going on. Did we say something? And then there was a couple other topics, other names came through that had meaning to us. And Kim was like, "Is the name Chris mean anything?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's her brother." And then a couple other things that we were only privy to. He did the brotherly love thing, would pinch her. So very specific answers or information that came through that was relevant to timing, relevance that happened to her with her brother. How does that, that just to us kind of reconfirms, and we're coming from a Roman Catholic background where we believe in heaven, the whole concept of heaven and hell, and that raised on that. But when we've had multiple experiences now through the digital seance experience, to just kind of, it puts us at ease a little bit that, hey, there is life after here, building upon, our religious belief, what we have and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. I mean, for me too, even when you have psychic mediums and stuff, there's very few psychic mediums that I know that have a gift. Very few. There's a ton of them out there.
Right.
Yeah.
And my friend Beth, I've been friends with Beth since 2011.
We know Beth.
Yep.
But the day before, it was Thursday. So it was on a Thursday. I still have the text message because she messaged me when I was in Vegas. I didn't put anything up on Facebook yet. Nothing of the wedding, no pictures, no nothing. And she's like, I wanted to reach out to you, but I didn't want to upset you. She's like, your mom came to me. And the things that she said, there was no way she would have known.
Right.
No way. Because nobody, like, the things that she said to me weren't things that I put on Facebook. They weren't things that I discussed with anybody. You know what I mean? Like, I did it. And she was like, you have a piece of her jewelry on your hand. That it's still on my hand. It's her little ring. That's an infinity. She talked about what I had on my flowers. She talked about like specific.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, how does she know this stuff? How does she know these little specific details that weren't talked about with anybody? I didn't even tell Rob I put my mom's ring on my hand. I had, it wasn't a thing that I said, oh, look, I got my mom's ring on. You know what I mean? I wasn't, so it was things like that. And the only thing that pisses, sorry. The only thing that makes me
listen, you're good. You usually drop the F-word all the time. Yeah.
is that she knows I was into this. Like the night before she passed, she was sitting on my couch behind me, hanging out with my show. She got me into the paranormal. So I'm like, why isn't she talking to me? Why isn't she coming to me? Where is that? And for me, like, to me, that would be the burden of proof. If my mom or my dad showed up and I saw them and they, you know what I mean? Like, I've had a visit dream with both of them, but it's a visit dream and they're very different than real dreams. If you've ever had a visit dream, you know the difference. Unforgettable. And it was just amazing. But I would like, for me, if she were able to come, I wouldn't care who believed me or didn't believe me. At least I would have that, like, okay, there is something, I can do this. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, oh, one of my peaches.
Hey, Dana.
Hey, Dana.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been things that happen. There has been things that have happened that I can't explain, but
So I have a question for you, Taryn.
Yeah.
You've had all these people tell you things. You've had all these experiences. What's it going to take to convince you?
It's weird because I believe, but I'm also still skeptic. I don't know how, like, I believe in this, right? Like, I believe, I mean, me and the Peaches have had some awesome experiences that I would never, ever throw out. You know what I mean? We've experienced some awesome shit. And we also have a lot of fun together. Like, we love being together. We love being together. We love being around each other. We love each other. But again, it would have to be my mom, my grandmother, Catholic. She didn't, she was Italian and Catholic. So she didn't like the mob and she didn't believe in ghosts. It was, you go to heaven and, whatever. I never expected to have anything from her. You know what I mean? Like, I never expected her to be around and hang around because I think once she was ready to go, she knew where she was going and that's where she wanted to be. Right. But I don't know. Like I said, I think it would take like my mom, me being wide awake like I am right now,
and her to pop up in front of you.
Yeah, something like something so significant that I would be like, holy shit.
Right.
My mom.
Like aha moment kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean,
and I hate to do this because I don't do this very often, but I just keep hearing, I'm screaming at you. Why won't you listen?
That sounds that could be my mom or my dad, to be honest with you.
I'm screaming at you. Why won't you listen? Why are you so stubborn? Why are you so stubborn? Why are you so stubborn?
Just knock.
My mom.
Did somebody just knock?
No.
We just heard knocking. We heard like knock, 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 knock.
Oh, wow.
3 9. Unless we're delirious, which is possible.
I mean, it's going on 3 a.m., so we could be just like kind of starting to get a little.
Oh, no, I heard something too, but
I didn't hear anything.
It could be like,
So I was on vacation a couple years ago in Myrtle Beach. And I saw this. Did you guys ever watch what was that haunting? No, I always forget the name of it. The first season, the first episode, it got weird after a while. American Horror Story.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Do you remember the first season where the guy, the black, he was dressed in like this leather, whatever?
Yep.
Saw that in our Myrtle Beach vacation home for a split second, right? I saw the back side of it. It was so black. You couldn't see anything. It had this like very thin yellow line around, but I saw just the back side of it, and it walks into the living room, and the wall blocked the rest of it out. So it was like walking like this, and the dog came running out of the area that it walked into, and she came running up, and she's like running around, and then all of a sudden I started to be able to hear her nails on the floor. That's when I realized I couldn't hear for whatever time period. It was literally 3 seconds, and I was like, did anybody else just see that? Like, I was like totally like, nobody else saw it, of course I'm, and they all, nobody in my family's into the paranormal, so they always bust my balls like, oh, spooks. But you know, like, I literally saw that, and I'm like, I to this day I can't explain what I saw. I don't know what it was. It didn't scare me because it happened so fast. But before I could even realize what was happening, it was over with. So I didn't have time to be afraid. The only other thing leading up to that was, for the first 3 days, I felt like we were being watched. I felt like I was being watched, and I'm like, I'm just being paranoid. And then after I saw that feeling went away. I didn't have that feeling the rest of the entire time we were there. But I've never seen anything like that before or after.
Wow.
What it wasn't, I have no idea. It wasn't my mom. So, like, you know, like I would need like my mom or my dad to be like, hey, we're waiting for you. You know what I mean? Like, we are there. We're waiting for you.
So
you know?
who would say you've always been so damn stubborn?
My mother. My mother would say that for sure. Yeah. My mother would say it.
Interesting.
Yeah, we me and her had a rough time growing up, but like the last like 5 years she was alive, we had a really good relationship. We had like that mother-daughter relationship I always wanted. I mean, she, you know, it was great. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful, you know, that she was with me when she passed. I mean, I hate that I found her in my house. Like I went to work. She was fine. I talked to her an hour before. She said she slept great. I said, all right, I'm coming home for lunch. I was coming home for lunch to have lunch with her, you know, and I found her, you know, and it was crazy. You know, like, it was so unexpected. It was so horrible to, you know, you find your loved one, you know, that's just, you just,
right.
So it took me a while, and I started even questioning everything when that happened. Now, granted, it's been a year. She died in March of 2024. So, you know, I started questioning everything. Like I was like going to give up paranormal. I was going to give up, like, you know, I was like, you know, I started to stop believing because I wasn't hearing from her. I wasn't getting anything from her. I wasn't like, I'm like, if anybody could do this, it'd be her. She freaking believed in it, like 100%. You know, like, you know, so, you know.
So who had hair down to here?
She did. Yeah. Yeah, she did.
That's who's telling you you're stubborn.
Yeah. Sounds like her.
Somebody with hair down to here, kind of curled up at the ends.
Yeah. Hold on. So I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah.
That's who's telling you you're stubborn. Jesus Christ, I just got chills.
Yeah.
You and me both. Look at my arms.
Yeah.
Look at his hair standing up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that's the lady saying you're so damn stubborn. You're so damn stubborn.
Maybe she's saying that because I'm like,
Yeah.
Maybe
And then my
she's,
head goes back. I go, yeah.
We might be losing Carmela.
she's telling me you need to listen more. She talks to you more. You need to listen.
I will listen. I will listen.
It's the smaller ones. It's the smaller things that you brush off as just normal stuff. It's a blow. It's a wind. It's the sound on your ear. Listen to it.
So you're looking for that big
Yeah.
Boom in your face.
You're
It's not that.
Get it.
Well, it's those little things.
So when my dad comes to visit me, my dad was my hero. To this day, when I think about my dad, I'm gonna take a deep breath. I get tears in my eyes. My dad was the ultimate hero.
Me
That
too.
when that man left this world, it destroyed me.
Me too.
Smell a cigar, I know it's him. I'll be driving down the road, I can smell what my dad smelled like, and I know he's in the vehicle with me. The most impressive part is he loved MASH.
Mm-hmm.
He absolutely, that man knew every episode like the back of his hand. There are times where I'll be walking along and that damn theme song will pop in my head. And I hated that damn show. I absolutely hated that show. We watched it when we were kids. It was so boring to me. That music will pop into my head and I'll go, "Hi, Dad. I know he's there." It's the little bitty signs that you normally brush off as a thought or a breeze, or she's saying, "Listen."
Okay. I will. I'll listen.
And I can tell you this doesn't happen a lot with me, but when it does, it's huge.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you saying something.
I saw the hair, and what's really amazing is when you showed the picture, I didn't say it, but I'm like, same color hair as Taryn.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you held up that damn pillow, I got chills from head to toe. That is the person telling me you're too damn stubborn. You need to listen more closely.
I will try. I don't know how to, but I will try. I will. I often think, like, there's so many times where I'm like, why aren't they coming to me? And it's like, I think because they both were so tragic. And it's taken me, obviously I'm still in the grieving process with my mother because it's so fresh, but my dad, it was 25 years ago. He died in 2000. So I went through I was diagnosed with prolonged grief, PTSD from his death, all kinds of stuff. It was hard. So I remember sitting at my desk one day and thinking, why won't he come to me? Why won't he come to me? And I said, if he were to come to me and then leave, because they can't stay, right? It would be like losing him all over again.
Right.
I'd want him to stay. And maybe it would push me all the way back to what I went through, because it was bad what I went through, like, when I was younger. I went 12 years of counseling. Like, it was bad. I suffered from that loss. And I think if I saw him and then he left, I'd be like, shit.
Right.
But I don't know. Now I'm older. Now I'm like, okay, I need to know, I need to know.
Do you think that from that early experience of having lost your father at an early age maybe plays into a part of
Why you're not trying to connect with your mother?
Well, or just in general about the belief of what, happens after?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like, I remember when he died, I remember that was the first 2 days was the only time that I didn't feel that fear of death. Cause I was like, if he can do it, I can do it. Because like you, Chris, he was my hero. He was Superman. Right. And and so I remember feeling that ease, like, oh, if he could do that, I can do it, and I wasn't afraid of dying for 2 days. Then after that, I was afraid of dying again. But like, I just remember feeling that peace within inside of me, and I think, like I said, one of my biggest reasons for doing the paranormal is because I want to try to find that proof. And if it's not with me, hopefully it's with somewhere else, with somebody else, and there's the proof, it shows up. I don't think what I saw in the Myrtle Beach house was an apparition of a person or a spirit or somebody that lived once and they died and now that, you know what I mean? I don't know what that was. And I have never really seen anything that prominent and solid ever before or after.
Really?
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. Or even I've seen like a ball of light once shoot across the top of a ceiling that I can't explain what that was. But other than that, like in all my years, like I've captured 2 photos and I've seen like 2 or 3 things.
Really?
Yeah. The rest has all been like EVPs and personal experiences, weird shit that's happened. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
I still love it though.
Do you think it'd scary if you saw something that looked like somebody real and then they vanished?
I don't know. I would say now, no. Maybe not having the knowledge I have, I probably, I don't know. I don't know.
Have you seen anything? Have you seen any soldiers or any apparitions as far as in Gettysburg? I mean, as much as you love that, I would think that connection might be kind of that belief or that type of energy there would maybe.
I wish, but no, I've never seen any. I'm sorry, I take that back. Once I saw, and anybody can correct me because I get the wars mixed up, but the ones that wore the round green helmets, I don't know if that was World War I or World War II.
Would have been both.
Okay, so we were standing on the side of the cemetery. We were going to walk across the street, and I saw what looked like a soldier wearing that type of a uniform, walking across the field. I'm getting chills thinking about that. It literally was like 2 seconds, but I saw him and I stopped Rob and I was like, "Do you see that guy?" I was like, "That was a soldier. He was wearing like the round hat, and you could see the gun like out the, you know what I mean, like the shadow, like, or the silhouette of the gun going. You know, he was carrying his weapon,
Right.
and and it was
Was
like,
it a smooth helmet or was it more of a rough pattern to it?
I wasn't that close. It just looked rounded to me, like a
Shiny?
round. I don't recall. Because he was a little distance away, but as quick as I saw him, then he wasn't there. And those fields of Gettysburg, there's nowhere for you to
Right.
disappear that quickly where you wouldn't go behind a monument or.
Weird because they wouldn't have had helmets during
Right.
the Battle of Gettysburg.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I remember talking to someone that owned a store there, and they said that they took somebody on a ghost tour and they actually captured what looked like Revolutionary War soldiers.
Which is possible. Which is very possible. Yeah.
I mean, anything is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the first noted ghost story came from the Civil War with the guys on Little Round Top who described what looked like George Washington coming up and telling them where to go to get the high ground. I mean, if you can look that up, that's a documented story from Gettysburg in 1863. So, I mean, who knows? But in Gettysburg, I think in Gettysburg, I get with the EVPs, I get so many disembodied voices and EVPs, and it's all shockingly intelligent responses. Where you would think more of that might be a little residual because of what happened there. There's a lot of residual claims that come from Gettysburg. But I was at the 20th Main Monument. That's my favorite. Joshua Chamberlain, love him. And I was sitting there, I was by myself, and I decided to do an EVP session. And I said, I was thinking globally. So I said, are you from Pennsylvania? And on the recording, you hear, no, Maine. And I'm sitting in front of the 20th Maine Monument. And at the time, I'm like so happy I said, are you from Pennsylvania? You know what I mean? Because if I said, are you from Maine? And you just heard a yes, that somebody go, oh, you just moved. That was your jacket. You
Right.
But you hear, no, Maine. And I'm like, holy shit. So, do I get some residual stuff? Yeah, I have cannon fire on record. I have, musket drum rolls, stuff like that. But when it's anything that has to do with question, answer, talking, it's mostly intelligent. So maybe that's where my connection might come in, where it's I'm getting the intelligent responses as opposed to residual stuff happening. I don't know.
Interesting. Sorry, guys. Carmela had to step away for a minute. She's falling asleep.
There.
I just messaged you saying we may need to tap out.
Yeah.
Well, it is 3:00 in the morning there, isn't it?
And we've actually gone 15 minutes over. So, Taryn, we would love to have you back sometime.
Sure. Absolutely.
So, I hate to break up this awesome conversation.
Yeah.
But
we don't have to. I can go another hour.
You may get some snoring, head nodding, kind of like that.
Well, I'm sure Taryn has to go to work tomorrow, and so do we.
Fine.
So, Taryn, talk about Paranormal Brew. Promote Paranormal Brew. Promote where you're going, what you got coming up.
Where to find you.
Where to find you.
Yeah, Paranormal Brew is on all social medias. I go live on YouTube and Facebook. YouTube, I'm gearing more towards YouTube. I'm so sick of Facebook, but you can look Paranormal Brew up on all social media platforms. Again, I only go live on YouTube and Facebook. It's every Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I always have a guest on. If not, it'd just be me. But normally I try to have a guest on. And some Sundays, but I've been able to keep it at Wednesdays. And some of the things, we have New Jersey Power Unity Expo coming up. Me and the Peaches are planning on, we're like more looking into next year to start to book some investigations. We were looking at Waverly Hills. We've never been there. We want to go there. Some places in Cape May, New Jersey. Cape May, if you've never been, awesome place. Very old, very haunted town. And of course, we have the Bash and Pennhurst and all that stuff. And so, yeah. Oh, I almost forgot. We are doing an event for Bird Mansion in Birdsboro, October 17th and 18th. October 17th is for kids. We're doing a kids ghost hunt.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're going to do just for the kids. And then the 18th is going to be for the adults. So me and the Peaches are having a slumber party at Bird Mansion in Birdsboro, Pennsylvania. And it's, I don't know, I can't remember how much. I think for the kids, it's $25. The adults on Saturday night, it's $50. All proceeds go back into Bird Mansion. We don't get anything. So that's the 17th and the 18th. That's our next big thing coming up. So if you're in the Pennsylvania area and you want to come hang out and investigate a really cool place that was built in 1750.
Wow.
Come on down.
Yeah.
Birdsboro is really cool, really quick. I know you guys got to go, but it's where the Daniel Boone homestead is located. It's also Abraham Lincoln's great-great-grandfathers built a house. It's still there, standing.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah. There's 2 houses there that were built in 1716 that were victims of a flood that went up to the roof, still standing, still there, which the Peaches were a part of an archaeological dig there, which was so cool. So this little town has so much history in it. So not for nothing, come out, hang out. And
where's that in reference to Gettysburg or?
So it takes, it's like an hour from Philly.
Right.
An hour from Philly. So it's like near, It's near Reading, kind of, not really. Berks County. It's Berks County, Pennsylvania. So it's like an hour from Philadelphia.
Okay, so yeah, I mean we're 20 or so minutes from you, so it would be the same for us. So we're not far from.
Well, not right now.
Not right now. Yeah, it might take a little. It's going to take an airplane.
hours.
It's going to take an 8-hour plane ride and change to get there.
Yeah.
And
That's
I didn't
awesome.
even actually. And one other thing for when you come back on, because I want to talk about I know you talked about, or Chris was mentioned in your bio, Ghost in a Dinner, because I know you experienced that, and I don't know if it's still going on. I know the last place had closed down, but
Yeah. We were actually supposed to be in Gettysburg this past weekend, and they had to cancel the event, so we didn't make it. They were doing Dinner with a Ghost at the Gettysburg Academy, and they had to cancel it. But I missed that, but that's okay. I'll be in Gettysburg for New Year's and my birthday bar crawl and all other fun stuff I go for.
Oh, I followed the post on that last year. That looks like a fun time.
So fun, and it keeps growing. It started out with just 3 people. Now there's like 17 people that go. It's like every year it just keeps growing.
Very cool.
That's awesome. Well, Taryn, thanks for being on Stay Hot with us. That
Appreciate it.
Awesome having you.
Coming on.
No, thanks for having me.
Guys, reach out, watch Paranormal Brew. Wednesdays at 8 p.m., correct?
8:30.
8:30.
Eastern.
Tune in at 8 p.m. and wait for the show to start, y'all. But make sure you reach out to Taryn. Make sure that you watch Paranormal Brew, and make sure that you get out to the bash next year and not only meet Taryn, but all the peaches there. They do the raffle, right?
Yeah, the auction, yeah, which we raised, I think, $5,500 this year.
Awesome, nice.
If Dane is still watching, but we raised $5,600 for the bash. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm a little disappointed I didn't win this year, but that's okay.
I never win. I put money in, and I try to get the cool stuff that we get, and I'm like, I never win.
Carmela won.
You won
She got the rub off.
last year.
I won last year, just not this year.
Carmela got the rub offs.
I won $20.
Oh.
Yes.
So one quick little tip. Maybe if you're going to do rub offs again, maybe do them all the same type to increase the odds. I don't know if that'll increase the odds.
Increase the odds.
At least 5 of each one.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
right.
that's what I do when I go to buy them. I get like 5 to 10 of the same one in a row, and I like the bingos or the crosswords.
Oh, with those, I just scratch out the scanner thing. I don't even try, and then I scan it with my phone to see if I won.
It's my OCD. I got to do it letter by letter, letter by letter.
I try, and then I'm like, oh hell no, and I just start rubbing the bottom off.
I'm gonna let that one go.
Oh, it's the rub-offs.
There's the pun.
Rub-offs.
So quick story before we end the show. Carmela won the lottery tickets at the bash this year, and we went up to the room to take a break, and Audra went down to grab Carmela, and she's standing at the door like this going, I rubbed one off and I didn't win. and Todd and I are going, wait a minute. This is later in the car. They were telling us about it. Todd and I are like, that's a win-win situation. How the hell did we not?
Do you call them rub-offs or scratch-offs?
I call them scratch-offs.
We call them scratch-offs because rubbing one off is a whole different term.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Scratch-offs.
She was so casual about it. The cutest thing, though, is she just literally, we were like 5 doors down. I come walking down the hall, and she's like casually leaning up against the side, like she's just
cigarette.
And she just smoked a cigarette. And I come walking up, she goes, I'm like, what's wrong? She goes, well, I rubbed one off and I didn't get anything. And I'm like, well, I'm sorry.
Do you need me to come back later?
I can
Try again.
Thank God for YouTube.
You guys watch that show, Ghosts on ABC?
No, but
I
everybody suggests I gotta watch it.
Love it.
Don't you love how they call when they get they call it sucked off.
Yeah, one sucked off. Yeah, somebody got sucked off, and I'm like, it's a bad thing.
Since we're talking about that, quick little.
Thank God we're on YouTube.
So we told Chris, Audrey, you weren't here. So we on the Jack the Ripper tour, on the way there was a bar called Dirty Dick's.
That's Dirty Dick.
And then I told them about.
We didn't go into Dirty Dick's.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't rub anything
far
on
away
over
from
there.
that.
All right, guys. Guys, we will
Thank you so
see you
much
next
for
week.
having me.
Taryn, thank you for being on so much. Make sure you guys look up Paranormal Brew. Make sure you guys get out to the bash to beat the peaches. Guys, and remember this. Always remember this. Listen for the small signs for those that are trying to reach out to you. That is how you stay haunted. Have a good night, guys. We'll see you next week.
Everybody,
Good morning
Good morning from London.
Good night.